Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Manker LAD keychain flashlight. And I have this alongside two of the, what I consider two of the biggest competitors, which is the Olight i3 and the Night Core Tube. Now this Manker is going to run you about 25 bucks. And I got a link to their website where you can purchase it. And so it is the most expensive flashlight on the table. The Olight being in that $10 to $15 price range depending on what option you get, and the Night Core Tube being anywhere from like $8 to $15, once again depending on what you get. In fact, sometimes you can catch these tubes on sale for ridiculously cheap. I think I got one for like $4 that I gave to my wife. So also very different in that these all have different amount of lumens they put out, different modes, different mode types, and all that. So we'll get into all that. Now this Manker is USB rechargeable, and it's going to come in a small cardboard box with a little tiny USB cable and instructions, no other accessories. And here's the basic info on that. You can see you have a choice between an XPG3 and a Nichia 21C LED, which pretty much the difference being the XPG3 is brighter. The Nichia is a little dimmer, but you're going to get a little bit of a nicer and warmer tint out of it. IPX6 waterproof, impact resistant, all that stuff. Flip over, there is a runtime chart, which you're going to need because it is a little complex, to be honest. You know, it is one of the downfalls of the actual light. And here are your run times. You can see you have a low, medium, high, strobe, also a red set of red LEDs in there, and you're talking about half an hour on your high up to about 5.5 hours on your low, and your red will last 100 hours, which is like quite a few days. Alright, so we'll do user interface if we can get this thing to focus. Now real quick, your i3 I put here because it's a simple twist top, single mode, easy to use, simple. That's part of the reason why it's such a loved option for a keychain flashlight, is that it's simple to use. You don't have to worry about different modes. Small, fits on the keychain easy. Some of the complaints people have often is that people will lose the head because they do come unscrewed at times. Night Core Tube, small, plastic, 2-mode flashlight, turns on, double click, brings you to a higher mode. That's it. So you have a simple 2-mode flashlight. That's it. Lightweight, plastic, also USB rechargeable. On the side here. Simple, very good. A lot of people like it because it is so small, lightweight, and it does have the 2 different modes. So you have the longer runtime, but also the higher, you know, brighter mode. Very popular. Probably one of the best keychain LEDs ever to be produced, in my opinion. In fact, this has been on my keys for probably about a year, and it's about to be dethroned, to be honest. But yes, this has been one of my all-time favorites, partly because of the lightweight, how small it is, and just how well it works. Now let's move on to the Manker. That's what we're here for. So a little different philosophy here. Lots of different modes, lots of different things going on with this light. Now this thing is an aluminum case, fairly heavy compared to the rest, with a little rubberized side switch, your USB charging port on the side. Nice large lanyard hole here, so if you want to make a lanyard attached to your keys, whatever you want to do, up to you. You can see we have a main light in the center, which is a your LED behind a TIR lens, and on the left and the right are the smaller, I think they call them top hat style red LEDs. Now this user interface is a little complicated, so hopefully you can follow me on this. Of course, hitting it will turn it on. Long press will turn it off. Long press will bring you into your memory mode. Whatever you last used will bring you back into that. Once again, that will turn you off. So back on, you're going to cycle between low, medium, high, and then your red. You can see you got these little devil eye red lights here, which is 2 of them. You can see how it makes that kind of thing. It's very small, 1 lumen. You're talking like 6 days of runtime. Great for a moonlight mode. So as I said, you're going to cycle through the red, and your low, medium, high, which that is in the neighborhood of about 300 lumens. Double click brings you to strobe, and then from there you're going to cycle through the special modes, which you have strobe, you have this beacon, this kind of beacon mode, which is actually called dragon's breath, which gives you this kind of pulsating eye here in the switch, which is kind of creepy, but it's really great for locating this light. If you drop it, set it down, you're using it as a zipper pull or something like that, this is a great mode just to leave your flashlight in. I've actually left this on for quite a few days at a time and still had enough battery to use this for regular EDC use. So you do get a really long time, and it will not kill your battery. So if you're out there camping or hunting or something like that and want to leave that running, you're just fine. You got an SOS and a beacon. Now to get back to your main modes, you're going to have to double click, and that brings you back to your set. So basically you have two different sets of modes, your normal modes and then your special blinky modes. You get between them by double clicking. You know, the single click switches, long press turns it off. So no matter what you set it in, so for example, we're going to double click, leave this on strobe, turn it off. Now, if I were just to hit the button once, it would go back to regular low mode, long press, brings me back to memory, so you do have the option to memory into strobe, which is awesome. I love that feature. I love the fact that you can automatically go into any mode, including the red and the strobe, from memory. That is a huge selling point of this light, is that you can do that. Most flashlights do not offer the option for memory on your strobe modes. So it's a little complicated, guys. Like I said, you have your regular modes, your separate modes. Cycling between them can be a little complicated, and then, you know, having to remember if you want to use your memory to do long press. I get it. It's a little complicated, and that's going to be the one thing that's going to hurt a lot of people who want to buy this, is they don't want to deal with that complicated mode structure. And that's fine. This light, I think, is really going to appeal to those people who want that versatility in their keychain light. I mean, the guys who want a single mode light, I mean, obviously you're going to want to go with something like the Olight. But if you want more capability, you want the strobe, you want the beacon, you want the red, you want those things, this Manker is actually a really cool option. Now, another couple things to note is that this light can be set down in many ways, and we got a backdrop here, so it won't do it. But you can lay this on its side, and it will set. You can actually, I don't know if it's going to, because I got this lanyard on here, but you can actually set it down without the lanyard, and it will sit on that weird, angle back here, and it will sit like this, and you can kind of use it almost as a candle. And also, because it is ridged here, if you do lay it flat, it does kind of get it off. So if you are using this and having to set it down, you do have a little versatility there as to how you can set it up to point it at things. So there it is, guys. As you can see, it's the most expensive on the table, but it does give you a lot of neat capabilities. Now, I think when it comes down to it, I think what you really need to look at are what are your needs and what do you like. The downfalls of this, of course, are that complicated mode setup, and also the USB charging port cover is a little on the wimpy side. It's a little thin. I don't believe, if we were to check back in a couple of years, that'll still be on there. I probably feel like that'll end up falling off at some point. I really think the biggest thing to improve this light would be to make that a little tougher. Like I said before, your old light, single mode, simple, but that twist head design, you know, anyone who's owned a twist head at some point in that lifetime, they've lost a head or two where they've fallen off and gotten loose in the pocket. Night core tube, you know, simple to use, good spacing between the modes. You know, your downfall is plastic, and also just that you're not going to have any of those specialties like strobe or red or anything, beacons or anything like that. Just normal run-of-the-mill. And of course it is really nice because it is so lightweight and small and compact. Now, carrying these, I've carried all three of these pretty extensively. This one here having the most. This is on me every single day. I carry this pretty much in a pocket for my god, how long have I had that? A month or two? And that's got a month or two straight pocket carry, and you can just see from the patina on it, it's been pretty heavily used. And this one here has a couple weeks of pocket carry, and it's funny because quite a few days I was carrying 3 and 4 lights on me trying to get through some of these reviews, guys. Here's what I found. Night core tube over the past year has turned on in my pocket accidentally maybe 3 or 4 times because it always starts in low. It has a really long runtime in low. It never drained the battery. I never went to use this and found it to be dead. There's plenty of times where I pulled my keys out of my pocket and found it on. You know, those 3 or 4 times that it did happen, but it didn't have any effect where I was left without light. The old light. Of course, turning on and off with this is just a tiny little millimeter or 2 twist to the head. And also, if it's in your pocket, it can turn on just by pressure. So sometimes if you have a lot of gear in your pocket, this can turn on. There has been times where that has turned on in my pocket and completely drained the light. So because you only have, because it's a single mode, it's always in one mode, this thing will drain in about an hour. So if this turns on in your pocket, very easy to have it drain on you. The Manker, I have not had turn on yet. And I think part of the reason why is this switch is recessed enough where you can actually push this thing down as hard as you can and the button will not be depressed. In fact, you can push as hard as you want. That button's not going to depress. You actually have to kind of get in there with your finger and turn that sucker on. So I have not had any accidental turn-ons with this. And even if you do, you can set this thing, you know, it's always going to start in the low mode. Your low mode, you're talking 6 hours. Hopefully you're going to notice that it's on by then. So I think of the 3, of course, these 2 are the safest options if you are worried about accidental turn on in the pocket. I think this one's going to be the toughest, most rugged, because it does have the nice aluminum body. You know, everything is hidden inside here. There's nothing sticking out, whereas this has, you know, a dome that could potentially be broken by your keys or something else in your pocket, a sharp, a knife, anything, you know. A lot of cool stuff about it. It's not going to be for everyone, guys. You know, a lot of people just aren't going to want to deal with that user interface, and that's cool. But this is going on the keychain. I think it's going to stay there a while until I find a better keychain light. I'm going to be retiring the tube. You know, it served me very well. It's a great light, but I really do like the option that I get with this Manker LAD. And hopefully you guys will see it again as more keychain lights come in.